Martin feels strong for Barcelona and ready to fight until the end. Marquez says he had front-row seats to the Martin and Bagnaia show, but paid the price with a crash. KTM's Jack Miller speaks out after a terrifying Sepang wreck. Stick around for the full story. In the wake of a dramatic crash at the Malaysian MotoGP, factory KTM rider Jack Miller is recovering after a terrifying incident on the track. Miller was involved in a high-speed collision with his teammate Brad Binder and Yamaha's Fabio Quartararo, leading to an immediate red flag in the race as medical teams rushed to the scene to assess the situation. Fortunately, after receiving treatment, Miller was seen leaving the circuit's medical center with no serious injuries. The collision unfolded quickly, heightening tensions as Joan Mir, who later admitted to making contact with Miller's leg, expressed genuine concern for his fellow competitor. Despite the severity of the crash, Miller's protective gear from Alpine Stars once again proved vital in minimizing his injuries, underscoring the importance of modern safety equipment in this high-risk sport. After reviewing footage and statements, MotoGP officials concluded that no further action was necessary, classifying the crash as an unfortunate racing incident. KTM team principal Francesco Guidotti also reiterated this perspective, emphasizing the unpredictable and dangerous nature of MotoGP, where even seasoned riders face considerable risks every time they line up on the grid. Reflecting on the incident, KTM released a statement highlighting the gravity of the sport, saying, "Today was a clear reminder of the risks our riders face every time they step onto the grid." The Malaysian MotoGP unfolded in dramatic style as Marc Marquez, with a prime spot on the front row, was drawn into the high-stakes duel between Francesco Bagnaia and Jorge Martin. This race was nothing short of a thriller, with the intensity of a championship showdown, as Bagnaia and Martin jostled for supremacy. However, Marquez's bid for a podium finish met a premature end after a crash forced him out of contention, highlighting the unforgiving nature of MotoGP's elite battles. The race in Sepang saw an action-packed start with 3 separate crashes and a red flag, raising the stakes from the very first lap. Martin held his ground in the lead, but the fierce rivalry between him and Bagnaia saw the pair battling hard, overtaking each other at nearly every corner, as they both pushed their bikes to the absolute limit. Close behind, Marquez maintained a watchful eye, trying to keep up with the lead duo as they carved through the track with unmatched aggression. Despite his best efforts to stick with Bagnaia and Martin, Marquez ultimately paid the price for this risky attempt to keep pace with the leaders. The rivalry between Martin and Bagnaia has been electric all season, and this race encapsulated their fiery spirit. Over just 3 laps, the pair traded positions nearly 15 times, each overtaking maneuver laced with the possibility of a collision. Yet, in true MotoGP fashion, they narrowly avoided disaster, with both riders fully committed to their pursuit of victory. Marquez's chance for a podium spot came to an abrupt halt when his efforts to keep pace with Martin and Bagnaia pushed him beyond his limit, resulting in an untimely crash. This high-speed chess match reached a fever pitch on the final straight as Martin made daring moves to test Bagnaia, only to concede that Pecco had just a bit more in the tank. Yet the strategic intensity of Martin's riding has kept him a key player all season, and with his consistent finishes, he now sits atop the World Championship standings with a 24-point advantage. Though Pecco has shown unrivaled speed with 10 wins to his name, Martin's consistency has been his greatest weapon, allowing him to exploit any small missteps from Bagnaia. The mental and physical stamina required for these races is immense, and Marquez's attempt to compete at that level underscores his dedication, even though he has faced repeated setbacks in recent seasons. Having not won a title since 2019, Marquez remains undeterred, competing fiercely in each race and bringing his wealth of experience to the track. As one of MotoGP's most decorated riders, Marquez knows well the pressures that Bagnaia and Martin face as they navigate this heated championship fight. With one final race remaining, the stakes couldn't be higher. Martin, buoyed by a win in the sprint at Barcelona, is closing in on the World Championship title, needing just 14 more points to seal his place at the top. However, as Marquez and other seasoned riders have experienced firsthand in MotoGP, nothing is guaranteed until the final flag is waved. As the European circuits loom with their unpredictable November weather, Martin's path to the title remains within reach but far from assured. Jorge Martin, in a stellar display of resilience, put up an incredible fight to finish second in Sepang, positioning himself on the cusp of claiming his first MotoGP world title. With only one race left in the season, Martin remains firmly in the hunt for the championship alongside the formidable Francesco Bagnaia. Their rivalry, charged with intensity and skill, will now reach its climax at the season finale in Barcelona. This season has been historic for Martin, marking one of the most consistent performances MotoGP has seen, as despite accumulating 10 wins, a feat that typically assures the title, the odds may still prevent him from claiming it. If Bagnaia, his Italian rival, manages to overtake in the points, Martin would set a unique record, potentially becoming the first rider in MotoGP history to win a staggering number of races and yet narrowly miss the championship. Such an outcome, if it materializes, would highlight Martin's skill, fortitude and determination, as he has repeatedly showcased his prowess, particularly with 10 second-place finishes this season alone. The Sepang race saw Martin start with a stunning burst of energy, battling head-to-head with Bagnaia in the opening laps. The duo exchanged positions with remarkable precision and respect. Ultimately, Bagnaia edged out ahead, securing victory while Martin held his ground in second, a placement that preserved his 24-point lead and secured him the points he needed. Although he didn't clinch first, the performance kept Martin well within reach of his dream title. Throughout the season, Martin has shown adaptability, including his strategic use of the medium front compound tyre during the race in Sepang. The medium compound, unlike the soft compound favoured by most riders in those conditions, seemed to align with Martin's style and kept him competitive in the punishingly hot conditions. He reasoned that the soft option would have forced him to finish well behind the leaders, a calculated gamble that proved wise. Martin's journey has been anything but ordinary. His career has been marked by calculated risks, notably in Sepang, where he displayed exceptional composure and racecraft against Bagnaia and even managed to evade any physical contact. One close moment came early on when his bike nearly brushed Bagnaia's foot, an all-too-common hazard in a sport where riders' limbs often come dangerously close to each other. This incident has fueled growing calls from Martin and others for stricter regulations regarding the use of legs in close racing situations, as the proximity in these high-stakes battles increases the risk factor significantly. Now, as the season approaches its conclusion in Barcelona, Martin stands 12 points away from clinching the world title. Winning the sprint race alone could be enough to seal his place at the top. The Spaniard knows the stakes are high, especially as Bagnaia is racing at his peak, but Martin's 24-point lead offers a degree of security. No matter how the final race plays out, his remarkable journey to the top this season, punctuated by tenacious battles, consistent podiums, and a level of sportsmanship emblematic of true champions, has ensured that he'll be remembered as one of the sport's modern greats. Hey MotoGP fans, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with all the latest action.